Do you want to know the number one thing that changed my life? The number one thing that helped me to step into my power? The number one thing that set me on a path to recognizing and understanding my purpose and being able to align myself with my vision? Well, I'm about to share that with you in this episode of Champagne Diamonds. So keep listening. Welcome to the Champagne Diamonds podcast. I am your host, Nadine Russell, and I'm so glad you decided to join me today. This podcast was created for queens, women who are ready to step into their power, women who are looking towards their vision and embracing the journey along the way, women who are ready to be unapologetic about being their authentic selves. If this is you, keep listening. Hey Queen, what is up? Welcome to another episode of the Champagne Diamonds podcast. I am your host, Nadine Russell, and I'm super excited to share this episode with you today because in today's episode, we're taking it back. We're taking it all the way back. We're taking it to the roots of where things really got started for me in this path that I'm on now. Back in 2014, I made a decision that I was going to tap in to knowing, to learning, to understanding how to love myself. And there were a few events leading up to that I've shared before on Instagram, on YouTube, but to break it down, the main reason why I was like, you know what, I need to go on this self-love journey is I had an epiphany, a realization that the world was really lacking something at that time. And it was lacking love. And I questioned myself and I said, how can the world have more love? And the thing that came to me was, in order for the world to have love, I need to learn how to love myself first. Before I can look at the world and expect the world to love more and have more compassion for each other, I need to learn how to love myself more and have more compassion for myself. That was the realization that changed everything for me. That was the realization that sparked it all for me. That allowed me to go from where I was to where I am now. And it's been over 6 years now. And it has not been a linear journey by any means. It has not been an easy journey at all. It has not been a journey that has come without upsets and frustrations and wanting to give up. And it's not a journey that has ended, because the thing about a journey is that the journey is never ending. The journey continues. The journey always continues. So I wanted to share with you today the foundation of my journey. And the foundation of my journey is rooted deep into self-love. And when I had that realization that in order to help the world have more love, I had to start loving myself more. It led me on a path of doing some things that I'd never done before and betting on myself and taking some risk and just trusting the journey. So what ended up happening is I made up in my mind that I was going to create my very first digital product. And that digital product was called the Self-Love Pact. I'd never created one before. I didn't know what it was going to look like, but I said, you know what? I'm just going to try. I'm going to figure it out. And I created a 4-week program where I broke down the 4 aspects of what I believe we needed as individuals to start loving ourselves more. And fast forward to 2017, I transformed that digital product, which consisted of a workbook, just a workbook that you could print out, as well as, well, 5 videos, because there was an introduction video, and then there was 4 videos that they're still here on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. So if you are watching this on YouTube, this podcast episode, you might see them in the archives. But if you are listening to this on the podcast, definitely feel free to pop over to my YouTube at Entice the Brand and see if you can find them and you know, see where things all started. So I decided to create this program. I didn't know what I was doing. I recorded 5 videos, like I said, and every week I gave a challenge of what we were going to focus on for that week. And I went through that challenge because I was doing it for myself. And something in me is like, okay, well, if I'm doing this with the sole purpose of the world having more love, then I'm going to take other people on the journey with me. I'm going to take other people with me on this journey that want the same things. And at the time, I had an online, store, and it was called Style Pact, and I had Instagram, and I shared it with my Style Pact community because it was about beauty, it was about fashion, it was about lifestyle. And I said, you know what, we're going to start loving ourselves. We're going to start shining, not just from the outside. We don't just want people to look at us and see how we look on the outside and shine in that way. We want to shine from the inside. We want to make sure that our inside is good. We want to get our inside in check. And I'm super grateful because some of those queens that took that journey with me then, we're still connected. We still talk today. And that just brings me so much joy and so much gratitude. So I created the Self-Love Pact. And, fast forward to 2017, I realized, okay, every single year in February, I do this Self-Love Pact. And it's almost like I'm saying that you only need to focus on self-love once a year. And that is not the message I want to bring. We got to have this self-love flowing every single day. And because of that, I created an e-guide at the time. And then in 2018, it became an actual workbook. Like, it's very short. It's very small. If you're on YouTube, I'm showing it right now. And it's just quick. It's simple. It's easy. And the purpose of this is to be extremely introspective. And I shared a little bit about this back in an earlier episode where I talked about your self-worth. Now, when I created the Self-Love Pact 2.0, which is this workbook, the purpose and the intention was to remind individuals that self-love is something that can be taken care of at any time. You don't have to wait for a certain time to tap into your self-love. You can do it anytime. You can do it on the go. And the thing is, it doesn't need to be done within 4 weeks. For some people, you can work on your self-love and you might just need a few hours a day to tap in and go through the different steps and marinate in that. For some people, you might want to take a month, 6 months, a year. It's truly up to you because everybody's journey is different. And I really need to stress that because a lot of people might be frustrated with the journey and feel like they need to power through it. And I felt like with only doing it once a year and addressing it in that way, I wasn't really giving individuals the opportunity to dive in as deeply as they needed to. Because the thing about self-love, it is very introspective. That is why within this guide, guide here, I don't provide in-depth, okay, this. I allow you to tap in and to explore that journey for yourself. This is literally a guide to allow you to tap in and explore that journey. So today, in today's podcast episode, I actually want to share with you and break down for you the 6 steps that I outline in this guide because they have been transformational for me. And I know they're going to be transformational for you as well. Okay, so the first step to stepping into your self-love journey is to forgive. Okay, and when you forgive, it allows you to clear the space. It's like if you have a bottle and the bottle's dirty. You don't want to pour your beverage, your water, your drinks into a bottle that is dirty. You want to clean that first. You want to wash that. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys can understand that analogy. So that is what forgiveness does. Forgiveness clears everything out for us. Forgiveness is that, that soap that goes in and makes sure that there's no dirt and no crime and no residue. So forgiveness is the very, very first step when embarking on your self-love journey. The second step is to reset. So what does it mean to reset? Okay, reset could also be reflection. Because what we need to do is, now that we have let go, we've released the attachments, we've released, the naysayers, the people that did harmful things to us, we've let all of that go, and also I want to add in there, it's so important, we've got to forgive ourselves as well in this process. It's so important that we forgive ourselves, because that seems to be the part that a lot of people miss, is forgiving themselves. So we really, really want to make sure that we are forgiving ourselves for any of the obstacles that took us off our game and, stressed us out and put us into bad situations, because we're learning, we're growing. And the best way that we learn is through experience. So we're forgiving others, but we're also forgiving ourselves. So when we tap into the reset is where we dissect everything. Okay. The reset is where we're going to start realizing what are the things that are happening within us? What are the things that are limiting us? What are the things that are holding us back? What are our beliefs? What do we really, really believe about ourselves, about what's possible, about situations in and around us? What are these deep-rooted beliefs that we have that are constantly playing in the back of our minds? This reset allows you to go in and pull it all out. I know you guys have had to reset your computer when your computer's running a little bit slow. You got to go and reset it. Whenever there's an issue with any technological device that we have, the number one thing that we do is we reset it. We turn it off and then we turn it back on. So this is the process. This is the reset. This is the second step of the self-love journey. Now, the third step is to affirm. Okay. If you guys know me, you know that I love affirmations. Before I even started on my self-love journey, before I started on my manifestation journey, I was tapped into affirmations, realizing the power of affirmations. And my favorite affirmations are I am affirmations. Because whatever you say after I am is a declaration to who you are and what you can do and what you are capable of. So I love me some I am affirmations. You feel what I'm saying? So that is the next step, is to affirm. You now understand all the things that have been holding you back. So in the reset process, we need to reprogram, because we took out all the junk. We recognized it. We cleared it. We took it out. And now we got to program ourselves in the way that we want things to go. So we tap into our affirmations and we reprogram positive affirmations into our conscious mind and hopefully into our subconscious mind as well. So that is the next step. Okay, so now we're feeling a little bit better. We're feeling empowered. We got our affirmations on and popping. So what's next? What is the next step on our self-love journey? Our next step on the self-love journey is to appreciate. Appreciation is what comes next. And, gratitude, being thankful, however you want to say it, it is so important. It is crucial in your journey, in any journey, to turn your life around. I remember going through a very depressing time in my life, a stressful time in my life. I was at a job that I hated. I was not happy, but overall, I was not grateful. It was very, very hard for me to see what there was to be grateful about. And I had to make that decision to say, no, Nadine, it's time for you to start shifting your perspective and having gratitude. You have been in this situation too long, and it's time for you to rise up out of the situation. So what did this queen do? This queen started to get grateful. And it was hard at first, but I started to have gratitude just for the pillow that I was laying my head on. I started to have gratitude for the water that was flowing through the faucets when I jumped in the shower in the morning to get ready for that job that I didn't want to go to. And it built up. I started having gratitude for the vehicle that I had, my beautiful vehicle. I was actually really grateful for my vehicle. I love my vehicle, okay? It's the very first vehicle that I have that I've named. I've never named any of my vehicles before, but I just started having so much gratitude until I actually started having gratitude for the job. I started finding things at that job to be grateful for the coworkers. I had amazing coworkers. The people that I worked with were absolutely amazing. And I started having gratitude for that. And when I stepped into that gratitude, things began to change. So it's no different in your self-love journey to really start appreciating yourself, appreciating your beauty, appreciating your flaws, appreciating everything about you. Okay. And once you're tapped into that appreciation, the next step is act. Okay. We are going to start taking some action because today I actually shared on Instagram that our dreams don't work unless we do. So if we really want to tap into that self-love, it's time for us to take action. It's time for us to start taking action by doing the things that we feel represent love to us. So what represents love to you? This is that self-care vibe, right? This is when you buy yourself flowers because you want flowers. You're not waiting for someone to buy you flowers. You're going to go out and you're going to buy yourself flowers. This action step is about you deciding that you're going to dress up and feel good, not because there's an occasion, just because you want to dress up and feel good. This is where that action comes. It's about stepping into the ways that you can love yourself. How can you love yourself? How can you love yourself? Is that eating nutritiously? Is that waking up early? Is that going for a walk? Is that eating a nice nutritious meal? Is that doing a brand new skincare routine? Is that deep conditioning your hair, putting a mask on, dedicating your Saturdays to self-care? What is it? Because it's time for you to implement it. That is what that action is all about. You take that action to really start doing the things that are going to raise your vibration and make you feel like the queen that you are. You see, I got so excited about that. And then the next thing, the last step that I share in this 6 steps, simple 6-step process to self-love and going on your self-love journey is to share. It's to share. Because the beautiful thing about love and self-love is when we have that love for ourselves, it bubbles over. And people start noticing, saying, girl, you look really good. You're glowing. And if there's any gents listening, dude, you look fly. Like, what's going on, sir? You're looking good. You're radiating. Like, what's happening? You're just shining. You're out here glowing. You're glowing and growing, right? So when we have filled ourselves up with all this goodness, it's going to start bubbling over. And this is when we take that initiative to start sharing it. Who can we support? Who can we show love to? And it's not because, oh, this person is doing XYZ for me and therefore, no. That's not what love is all about. Love is about giving freely. So how can you share? And I'm not telling anybody to go out of their pocket, go out of their way and do something that they cannot afford to do and do these grand gestures for the show of it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is as you start loving on yourself and appreciating yourself, there's little things that you can do to help other people, to support other people, to encourage other people, Tap into your gifts. Tap into your power. You could just smile at someone. That's how you're sharing that joy and that love, is just by smiling to someone. You might see someone struggling with some bags and you can help them carry it. You might be in a line and have the opportunity to pay it forward and pay for the meal of the person behind you. You might be able to offer to babysit your cousin or your sister's kids or something. There's so many ways that we can share the love, but once we share the love, it feels even better. It feels even better because now that we are full, we can give. And then do you know what you do after you share? It's cyclical. It's a process. You go back and you start from the top and you clear out and you forgive and you release and you let go. And the cycle continues. And you continue to grow and you continue to love yourself, and your self-love gets deeper and your self-love gets stronger, and you evolve and you change and you become the best version of yourself. This is the foundation of everything that I do. Women's empowerment, helping women mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. This is still the core of everything that I do, is self-love. Self-love, self-love. It is important. And people seem to think that self-love is selfish and self-love is me taking. That's not what it is. That's narcissism. That's different. That's a story for a whole nother day. Okay. Self-love is honoring yourself. Self-love is accepting yourself. Self-love is appreciating yourself. Self-love is being able to look in the mirror and like what you see looking back at you. And it's not because you're dolled up. It's not because you have all the money. It's not because of something that someone else told you about yourself. It's about you being comfortable with you and accepting you and liking you. It's about you appreciating, accepting, loving yourself, honoring yourself. This is the foundation of everything in my journey. And this is why I continue to talk about it, because it is so important. So my question for you today is, are you ready to step into your power by loving yourself? Are you ready to make a commitment to yourself that you are going to invest time in you, that you're going to love on you, that you're going to appreciate you? Are you ready? Because the thing about self-love is it starts with self. Nobody can do this for us. We have to do it ourselves. But I can promise you, it will make a difference if you stay committed. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. In the book, I talk about, different rituals that you can do every single day or in every section that are going to help you. And some of those things are hard for some people, especially if they've never experienced it before, if they've never done it before. And I was realizing how difficult it was for people. That is why I created a whole program on this process where I can sit down one-on-one with someone and help them go through this, because it is not easy. It is not easy. And as I'm sitting here and I'm speaking about this, I'm considering if I should start offering this program again. The Radiant Woman program. If I should start offering these group sessions again, because it is so needed, especially right now in this time. There are so many people who are struggling. They're having a hard time. And when the things around us aren't going the way that we expect them to or the way that we want them to, it's easy to beat ourselves up. But if we take that time to shift our perspective and love on ourselves instead, I promise you, it may not happen today. It may not happen tomorrow. It may take you 30, 90, 120 days to get it right. But you will start to see a difference. So that is all I got for you today on this episode of Champagne Diamonds. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this message blessed your heart, definitely go ahead and share it with someone. Self-love. Simple step number 6, sharing. I love you. I appreciate you. And if you are finding joy in these episodes, you're enjoying them, if you're on YouTube, definitely go ahead, drop a comment, share with me. I love connecting with you guys. And if you are listening to this on a podcast, definitely go ahead and drop me a review. It helps me so much. It lets me know what type of content you guys like so I can keep creating podcasts to uplift you and to motivate you and to inspire you. So I'm wishing you a fantastic day today, wherever you are in the world. Know that you are loved. Know that you are appreciated. It all starts with you. Start loving on yourself. I love you, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Champagne Diamonds. I look forward to seeing you again in the next one.